As students head back to school this week, it's a good time to get mentally prepared for the start of a new year and new routines. It's exciting, but it can be a lot. There are several steps parents and children can take to reduce stress and make the transition back a bit easier. So joining us now is Carlene Cardosi, a licensed clinical social worker and president of Rosecrance Illinois, a network of behavioral health services. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Carlene, what makes the start of a new school year so stressful for both parents and children in many cases?
Sure. I think one of the big parts is they come from a less structured environment of summer. The part of the reason the kids love summer is because they're not in school. So they don't have that same structure of sleep, routine, that is often needed for them to be successful. And so part of the struggle that they feel is getting back into that routine feels uncomfortable to them. And can be really difficult for a parent to try to get them back into a regular sleep schedule, a regular schedule for them to get up, catch the bus, find time to do their homework, and really start to manage some of the stresses that come with going back to school.
Okay, so other than, really implementing, let's say, a sleep schedule, et cetera, what else can parents or caregivers do to help their child or teen returning to school? We're talking not just sleep here, but there's a whole host of things that they now have to worry about.
The first thing that we would say is have an open conversation. The days of saying, let's not talk about it, are long gone. Those kids are already feeling the stress, possible bullying that they faced last year. We want to have open dialogue. We want to ask them what they're excited about, what they're fearful about, how can we manage some of those feelings, and ahead of time, give them some coping skills or ability to handle that stress. That is going to be different for every single child and adolescent, just like it is for adults. But making sure they know there are things that they can do and that a parent or caregiver can do with them to help manage some of the feelings that they might have.
And I would imagine also reassuring their child that they are hearing them and they're taking, what could be signs of stress very seriously too, not discounting that.
Absolutely, and recognizing it. One of the key things is to point out to their loved one, hey, I'm seeing a change in your personality. It looks like you're in your room a lot with the door closed, or hey, that looked like it was a little bit more of an anger episode than what we've seen from you in the past. What's going on? So helping them realize that you care and you're paying attention to how they're behaving, the words that they're using, and any change in their behavior.
So expounding on that a little bit, Carlene, if a parent feels like they've done their best to prepare their teenager in particular, but still believes they're struggling, what else should they look for besides, let's say, staying in their room with a closed door? Any other warning signs?
There's a whole bunch. The first thing is something that's different from what their child has done in the past. So if their child or teen has been outgoing, involved in school activities, all of a sudden is withdrawn and not, that would be something you would want to address. If your child has historically not been very outgoing or had a large group of friends and you're seeing them hanging out with a different group of friends. So any sort of change in their behavior is something that we would want to acknowledge that you're seeing.
Okay, and real quickly, Carlene, at some point, if you feel they need professional help, definitely seek it, correct?
Absolutely. I think there are providers like Rosecrance out there that are trained to deal with adolescents and kids who are struggling. And it's never too early to get that help. If you start to see a struggle, acknowledge the struggle, have a few conversations about it. If you're not seeing an improvement or watching it get worse, always reach out for help. There are people like Rosecrance who want to help the kids.
All right, Carlene Cardosi, thanks so much, president of Rosecrance, Illinois. We really appreciate you joining us this morning and for that advice. I know it can be so helpful to so many parents.